Hello my boys, good morning. So GGG revealed the last 3 Ascendancy classes for the upcoming event Legacy of Phrecia in Path of Exile 1, and we also have a release date, so we know when this event starts. It's here. If you scroll down a little, you see it's February 20. If you want to see when this comes, it's Thursday. February 20, so on Thursday we will have this event. It's in around 7 days. But it's important to notice the end date. This event will last around 1 month. This is important because I already seen on the internet builds that talk about using Mage Blood, Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame. No. Realistically speaking, this is a short time for this event. You won't be able, the majority of the players will not be able to acquire a Mage Blood or those jewels. So keep in mind for this event, look for starters and builds that are fairly cheap to make without overcomplicated gem setups, especially for a new Path of Exile player or casual. Maybe you came from Path of Exile 2 and you want to give Path of Exile 1 a shot. Be very careful when you're doing your starter. You want something simple that will not cost a lot. Listen what PoE guy tells you. I will release my starter, which will be incredibly cheap and also new player friendly because I like to play relaxed. Okay, we will see how that goes. So we have here the Ancestral Commander that we will discuss in this video, will be the first Ascendancy. So let's get started. Now this is an Ascendancy that I really like. I find it very tanky and I will play it. For sure I will play it. Let's start with this node here, Forest of Ancestors, +1 maximum number of summon totems, and it's great, so the more totems you have, you know, the more damage you do, but look here. 20% of damage from hits taken from your nearest totem's life before you. This is a big damage mitigation. Basically the totems will absorb damage for you. And actually you can bump this even further. So on the passive skill tree for the totem mastery wheel, we have this one, 5% of damage from hits is taken from your nearest totem life before you. It's basically the same thing, you get 5 extra. So it stacks. We get 20 from the Ascendancy and 5 more from this wheel here. So 25 of damage gets redirected to a totem, which is strong. It's really strong. I played it, I liked it. But it gets even better because we have Ancestral Endurance that raises your maximum endurance charges with +3. It's crazy because endurance charges are a potent damage mitigation layer that gives you physical damage reduction and elemental damage reduction. It's strong as fuck. By default, your maximum endurance charges is 3, but you can pump that up with these nodes here. This will give you +4, and we also have here. So this will be +5. Keep in mind, Marauder starts in this area. From here, so it's easy to get this one also, +5, +6, and with those we'll have +9. Also you can get extra endurance charges from the items, so trust PoE guy, this is busted as fuck. Mitigation both for spells and incoming attacks. And now in order to generate endurance charges there are multiple tricks that you can do. You can get endurance charge or kill, which is the least favorable, or you can get a timeless jewel. When you get hit you will generate endurance charges, or even there's a small cluster jewel that you can craft quite easy. When you get hit you will generate endurance charges and you can get your endurance charges that way. In this event I will use that small cluster. I will make a guide on it on my starter so you'll know what to do. And this one is also strong. Ancestral Defiance, gain 50% of missing unresolved life before being hit by an enemy. We already have this modifier inside the game on an amulet that's busted and it's used on very tanky builds, which is this one, Defiance of Destiny. You see, if you read the last line, gain 24% of missing unresolved life before being hit by an enemy. Basically this modifier will make your life bar stay close to 100% most of the times. When the enemies will attack you, the life already will start bumping up. This is a very strong Ascendancy class. These 3 nodes for a totem player, which I will do, wink wink, it's busted as fuck. Now let's talk about this one, totem skin. Action speed cannot be modified below base. Movement speed cannot be modified below base value. Armor from equipped body armor is doubled. I like especially the third modifier, if you have a body armor with a lot of armor. Rare or unique? For unique I'm thinking about the Brass Dome. I have it here, yeah. It has, the Brass Dome has a lot of armor, and with this node it will double. Already the Brass Dome has shit ton of armor and this amount will get doubled. Yeah? So this is a very high amount of armor that we have here. And this will double. Just too good. Even if you're using a rare armor, you can still get high amounts of armor. It's no problem there. Man, I love this Ascendancy, it's so tanky. And of course, movement speed you cannot be slowed, and actual speed cannot be lowered too much, so this also helps. Yeah. Now these nodes are related to Warcries, I think. 1 second, I need to see. Strike, skill, Warcries. So if you want to play a Warcry build, these nodes might interest you. I don't care about them. Reduce Warcry speed, increase Warcry cooldown recovery rate. Okay, fine. Nearby corpses explode when Warcry, dealing 12% of their missing life as physical damage. Yeah, basically this will help with the clear, masters will explode on the screen, your work race open chest. This modifier, we actually had it in the Necropolis League on a helmet, was a helmet modifier. It's really good because while you play your Warcry build, the nearby chest will open. Oh, sorry, 1 second. The nearby chest will open for extra loot, which is good. This is for strike skills which target additional enemies can do so for 50% further away, so this is area of effect boost. Non-val strike skills target one additional nearby enemy. This helps with the clear. Strike skills also target the previous location they were used, so this helps with the clear. In case you don't know what are strike skills, maybe you're new to Path of Exile, it's very easy to find them. When you go here, each gem in Path of Exile has tags. Just write strike and you see what lights up. So here, if your Glacial Hammer has the strike tag, here we have Heavy Strike has the strike tag, it even says in the name. Vigilant Strike, it has the strike tab, you can find them like this. So these are the gems that will get affected by these Ascendancy nodes. Now we have this one here, Born Under Fire. Nearby enemies convert 50% of their physical damage to fire. This is good for defenses again, because we have some items in Path of Exile 1 here. One it's the body armor, that is called Cloak of Flames, and the other one is the Calm Belt. 1 second, Calm Binding. Yeah, this one. You will see the same modifier. Nearby enemies convert 25% of their physical damage to fire, which is exactly the same modifier that we have here. Yeah. So now with the belt we'll have 75% conversion from physical damage to fire, and this helps because you will cap your fire resistance to 90%. So here you will want to have fire resistance 90%. So when an enemy will hit you with a physical attack, you will take it as fire damage. But because if you have 90% or high maximum fire resistance, you will take way less damage. We also have the Cloak of Flames body armor that converts 40% of physical damage into fire damage. You don't even need the belt here because you have 50 from the Ascendancy, 40 from here, 90% of physical damage conversion to fire. So this Ascendancy here, Born Under Fire, take it as a defensive node. Now we have this Ascendancy node here that will let you pick one spirit. You cannot pick multiple, just one. These spirits are from Trials of the Ancestor League. We had it in the past. They are not that great, but some of them can give you incredible effects that can be really useful. You need to do a certain condition in order to summon that spirit. For example, here your totem needs to die. Here you need to take a critical strike from an enemy. Here you need to take a savage hit from a unique enemy. A savage hit is a big hit that chunks your life really fast down, so it's a big, large hit. When you block damage, you will summon it. There's another condition here that you need to have a unique enemy. Yeah, so maybe a rogue exile or a map boss in order to trigger these special minions. Now, from all these minions here, I like the Spirit of Calm, especially for totem players. I saved it here. Basically, this spirit has a line that I love. So this minion grants you a buff which allows totems to take some damage from hits for you. Oh, basically even more damage mitigation. So it says here, Spirit of Calm, while a totem dies while a unique enemy is in your presence. Now it's very easy to make your totems die. Basically you keep resummoning them, and as you put new totems, because you have a limit, the old ones will die. Just by resummoning your totems, you will get this spirit. I will try to play with the Spirit of Calm, see if it's potent or not. If not, I will go back to this one, Titan skill, so my armor gets doubled from the body armor. Yeah, but I will first try with this one. Yeah, this will be one of the skill nodes that I will take. Now let's move on and check the other Ascendancies. Okay, my boys, now let's check the BOG Shaman, which is here. It's for the Witch. An Ascendancy for the Witch. We check it here. Let's start with this one, Toad Pact. Minus 20 to all elemental resistances. This is not a big downside because we can get elemental resistance from so many sources, and minus 20% it's manageable. It's not something, it's not the end of the world, but you get a lot of upsides. 50% increased projectile speed, 50% area of effect, 50% skill effect duration. This is really strong. So my opinion, whoever will go with this Ascendancy will take this node. He won't care about minus 20 elemental resistances. Here, vile imprecations, nearby enemies have malediction. Malediction will make the enemies deal less damage by 10% and take increased damage. So this will help you both with damage offensively and in defenses. 30% increased reservation efficiency of Curse Aura from skills. Now keep in mind these are Curse Aura. So in Path of Exile we can use Blasphemy support in order to transform the curses into auras. Yeah, so this is an extra step that you need to do. Curse auras are not as strong as non-curse auras. So this is not that great actually, but it will be taken because malediction is a good effect that will make the enemies deal less damage and take increased damage. It's good. Yeah, so this node might see play. It's actually quite good. Let's see this one. Lose 5% of life per second if you have been hit recently. 40% more damage over time. This will be taken by a lot of guys because 40% more damage over time. It's a huge multiplier. So for damage over time builds, 40% more damage is huge. It's like having one extra support linked to your main skill. Sanguine Power removes all energy shield, gain maximum life instead of maximum energy shield from equipped armor items, and -3 maximum life per level. So this incentivizes you to play a life build. This is what I see. And you get bonuses based on energy shield from your armor items. So yeah, you will focus on a lot of life for this build. Also has synergy with this one here, Nightblood. Skills gain a base cost equal to 25% of base mana cost. Spells that you cast yourself gain added physical damage equal to 80% of their cost if life cost is not higher than the maximum you could spend. So this again incentivizes you to play life builds because you spend life and you get added physical damage to boost your DPS. We have something similar here, but for mana. Your skill deal 100% of mana spent up front skill mana cost as physical damage. Man, it's hard for me, you know, I'm not a native English speaker. And they put me to read this bullshit. Skills gain added chaos damage equals to 40% of mana cost if mana cost is not higher than the maximum you could spend. So basically here you're getting added chaos damage as you spend mana. Simply put it, you know, why they have to complicate it for non-English speakers? Grants level 20 pacify skills. Enemy pacified by you take 30% increased damage. Pacify, it's a curse effect, but it has a slight delay. Basically, the enemies will deal no damage to you, but it takes a few seconds before it kicks in. And that's why I don't like it. Because in Path of Exile 1, usually you want to explode the whole screen. You don't want to wait too much. Yeah, so I personally don't like it. Also, it takes a curse slot, which is horrible. Fell Friend, nearby enemies chaos resistance is 0. Chaos resistance is 0. So the first mode is the strongest effect. So having 0 chaos resistance, maybe you're doing a chaos related build, which you need for this node, you will deal more damage. The second one, you can take it also as an upside. You know, you don't need to invest into chaos resistance because once you reach the mapping phase in Path of Exile 1, you'll have -60 chaos resistance. By taking this node, it will bump it up to 0. If you have a lot of block dodge, you will manage maps even with 0 or 30 or 40 chaos resistance. Doesn't matter. You don't need to have chaos resistance cap in Path of Exile 1. It's more important to keep your fire, lightning, and cold. Now, if you have block dodge, there are plenty of builds that they can manage with chaos resistance and capped. I've shown this in the past multiple times. We also have a helmet in this game called Glimpse of Chaos that you get from the Trial Master that in Path of Exile 1 has the exact same line. Chaos resistance is 0. Venom Drinker, 100% chance to be poisoned. So you're the one that will get poisoned, and the 5% to maximum resistance while poisoned. This is a strong effect. And also keep in mind you cannot be poisoned while there are at least 5 poisons of you. So you will not have a lot of poison stacks on you. It will stop at 5, which is manageable, especially if you have a lot of chaos resistance. This is a really strong node, but you will want to invest into chaos resistance. Now my boys, let's take a closer look at the last one, which is a Scavenger for the Scion. Let me make it big here. We also have a second one here. For this Ascendancy class, we have a high level of customization, a high degree of customization. What you need to understand that you have 4 big clusters, but you only can pick 3. So the Scion can pick 3 of them, not all 4. Yeah, so you need to path your way smartly. Let's start with this cluster here. I will try to spot the most effective nodes that you can take. Let's put it like this. 50% of damage taken is recouped as life. Debuff of new expire 50% faster. This is a defensive node. 40% of physical damage from hits is taken as fire damage. This has great synergy with the Chaos Belt and the Cloak of Flames. Yeah, this is actually quite good for Cloak of Flames. It's a great damage mitigation. You have 40% on Cloak of Flames, with 40% here, 80%. So you don't need to worry about physical damage in this game, which is a big thing. Yeah, 20% increased movement speed while on full life. Damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky while on full life. I don't like this. It's conditional. You need to be on full life, which sucks. Yeah. Also, these effects are not that potent compared to this one. For example, 40% taken as fire. Chaos damage does not bypass your energy shield. This is quite good. Depends on the build that you're playing. But this, it can have utility on some builds, especially for energy shield. Blunderblower, this I simply love it. 40% increased effect of shrine buffs on you, which is good by itself. And you have this one, you have lesser brutal shrine buff, you have lesser massive shrine buff. So you'll get this one, lesser massive shrine, will give you increased maximum life, area of effect, character size. These are 2 important because you get more life. And lesser brutal shrine will increase your damage. Yeah, you see them here. And also increased shrine effect buff, so you will get even more than 20 damage increase and even more than 20 for the life increase. Yeah, so players will pick either this one for Cloak of Flames or Blunderbolt because these are simply the best. Now let's take a look at this cluster here. 20 pack, taking chaos damage over time heals you instead of while leeching life. You know, we have a big condition here. You need to leech life. It simply sucks. Simply put, it sucks. Fury Valve modifiers to number of projectiles instead apply to the number of targets projectiles split towards. Skills fire to additional projectiles. So it's not that great as you might think. You see, when you see skills fire to additional projectiles, you think it's great. But actually now your projectiles will split. We actually have an item that has the same effect. Fury Valve. Let me see if I have it. Fury Valve. It's an amulet. I have it. With the same name, and you see it's the same thing. Modifiers to number of projectiles instead apply to the number of target projectiles split towards. Man, this is confusing for new players. Basically, when you're shooting, you will shoot just one arrow, will hit the target, and then it will split in multiple projectiles. It sucks, trust me. You think you want it, but you don't. Dreadry Stone, curse enemies cannot inflict elemental ailments on you. Again, it's conditional. You need to curse the enemies. Maybe if you have a permanent curse around you like an aura effect, then it can be good. Because elemental ailments are bad in this game and you want to have immunity against them. Can be taken. So this is the first decent one. Leadership's price, you have Scourge Conflux, Brittle Conflux and Sapping Conflux while your two highest attributes are equal. Cannot ignite, chill free. We already have this on an amulet with a similar name. Let me see if I have it. Just put leadership. Drops from the haste. The twin string, this one, leadership price is from the twins contract in the heist. It has the same effect. This is a really strong effect, but you need to spend time in order to calibrate two of your highest attributes. Yeah, so they are identical. This is another one that is great, but you cannot go wrong with Death Rush. Gain adrenalines for 5 seconds on kill. Adrenaline is a strong buff in this game because it gives you 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack, cast and movement speed, and 10% physical damage reduction. And you get it basically when you're clearing the map, you'll kill a lot of enemies and you'll have adrenaline all the time up. This is a potent buff. We also have a ring in this game with the same name, Death Rush. This is great. This is the best node here. And Zephy's Art, chaos damage can ignite, chill and shock. This is my opinion on this node. Shock can be useful because it will make the enemies take increased damage, but compared to free adrenaline all the time, no. Let's see here, we have more nodes. +3 to maximum number of summon phantas, +1 maximum number of specters, basically for minion builds. Obliteration, enemies you kill have 30% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their maximum life as chaos damage. I already noticed something, that all these names that you see here are from actual items from Path of Exile 1. This will help you greatly with the clear. It's a good node. First good node here. Void Battery, 25% increase spell damage per power charge, +1 maximum number of power charges. I can already see a build archetype, power charge stacking. You will equip 2 Void Batteries and you also take this Ascendancy. This will give you +3 maximum power charges and a lot of spell damage per power charge. This is broken as fuck. By far this is the most powerful Ascendancy node for the Scion so far. If you don't know what is Void Battery, let me see if I have. Keep in mind here I'm in the Settlers League, is not on standard, so I might not have it. I don't have it, but Void Battery basically has the same modifier with a downside, and you can have +3 maximum power charge. This is broken as fuck. I like it. This is a really strong node. The Fulcrum, 25 of physical damage converted to fire damage, converted to cold lightning damage, and the last line, it's important. Elemental ailments you inflict are reflected to you. So if someone will pick this one, will pick it for the last line. And we have this one here, 50% increased light radius, nobody cares about that. And Battle Mage, that gives you added spell damage equal to the damage of your main hand weapon. So whoever will take this will take it for the Battle Mage. And this one here, maximum energy shield per 5 armor on equipped shield, 5 armor to evasion on equipped shield, 20 evasion. Man, this is confusing as fuck. And because it's confusing and it's not that great in reality, because I know the node, will not see a lot of play. So the most broken nodes are these two, Obliteration and Void Battery. Maybe for minion builds also this one, Midnight Bergen, but these two are just too powerful. And we have one more here, let me open it. Okay, 2% increased area of effect per 25 rampage kills, gain a frenzy charge every 5th rampage kills, rampage. So this gives you the rampage buff, which is strong. This will see a lot of play. This is a good buff, first good skill in this cluster. Soul Taker, insufficient mana doesn't prevent your melee attacks, your physical damage can chill. This is also great because you don't need to worry about mana, especially for melee. Melee struggles a lot with sustaining mana for their attacks. Now if you take this one, you don't need to worry about that. This is really strong, I like this too. Doom Fletch, gain 20% of weapon physical damage as extra damage of each element. This is also good, you get extra damage. Oros Sacrifice, Calling Strike against burning enemies sucks. Gain a frenzy charge if an attack ignites an enemy. This is dog shit, will not see any play. Starforge, your physical damage can shock. 20% area of effect for attacks. This is nice but not that strong, these two are better. Tahoa's Feeling, trigger a level 20 Tahoa's Chosen when you attack with a non-val slam or strike skill near an enemy. So basically when you attack with a non-val slam or strike skill, it will summon a minion that will copy your attack 2 times. I still like this more. Okay, now let's talk about this Ascendancy in general. As I said, you can only pick 3 clusters, not all. So most likely you start here, you will take this one, it will be the first one that you take. Then you will need to put Aether here at the bottom and take the second cluster, and this will be the last one. Or you go to the top and you pick this cluster and you take this one. You see, from this node to this node, you have just one small one. From this node to this node, you have 2 ones. Same here. So Scion starts like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why you will path like this. For example, you cannot take these clusters, this, and this. You cannot, because you have one extra small one. Yeah. So either you get this cluster, this cluster, this cluster, or you go to the bot and you take this, this, and this. Man, I can't wait for this event. I already found my best Ascendancy class that I will leak, start with this one. I will do my event starter soon in a video. I will do a mini guide for it, and I will also put on the guild Discord server an info channel with everything that you need to know. Especially if you're a fresh Path of Exile player, go with my starter because you'll have a good time. Enjoy the rest of the day, and good luck.